Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with a little bit of a project. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you've been watching me go through literally a handgun bender. I've been at it on handguns now for it feels like almost a year. In fact, I would say it's probably close to that. I haven't had much in the way of rifle content. I certainly have not had much in the way of shotgun content. And today I am setting out to change that. If you build it, they will come. I am going to get my Beretta A300 Ultima Patrol ready to use. It's been sitting here in my collection, just begging me to get it out to the field. And so I figure I'll build it out a little bit today and just do it here on camera, have some fun, show you some of the things that I'm doing to build out my A300. Now, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to it, but I do want to maintain this for kind of that tactical self-defense role. Bottom line is, if you look at the A300 Ultima Patrol, well, yes, it is a tactical shotgun, semi-automatic design. In my sad, pathetic case, it's 5+1 on the magazine tube, so I'm missing a little bit of length here, but at the same time, getting this ready for use. Now, I have a couple of things that I'm pretty interested in using here. Now, something that I did cover on my channel, this here, a Holosun green dot optic. This is the HE515CT-GR. So a beautiful, just real nice, kind of high-end Holosun optic. This is kind of getting up in range in terms of the cost. It's not one of the cheaper ones. It has the beautiful, just solar panel on top. Has kind of a couple of covers here, which they are stiff, but nice flip-down design. Has that sort of I don't know exactly what you call it. It's that waffle screen, kind of like, it's not a flash hider. I forget exactly what that's called. I'll annotate below. But just a real nice optic. And more so, I mean, I have the ability to put a number of different optics on here, but I really wanted something that I can still look through and see my iron sights. And this is perfect for that. Literally perfect. I got a little chunk of rail here, and I will absolutely be able to sight right down this and through the green dot all the way on my iron sights, and that is perfect. Next, the XP22 Pro weapon light laser combination from Brinyte. Now, this is kind of a funny looking light. I covered the original generation on my channel. They sent me the upgraded model, so this is the update to the original XP22, this now being the Pro, and it's pretty slick, and I love the fact that this design is literally about perfect from the standpoint that it should fit nicely right under the stock on the foregrip, that forend, and really make a real simple, low-profile design. But furthermore, not only does this have the dual heads, but it also has the laser. And as you take a look at this, it is a pressure pad, which is really cool. And I should be able to basically hold that forend and get on that. They have accessory pressure pads if you so choose. And this also has the ability to not only run the lights between those different modes, but the laser and in different combinations. And I thought this would be literally perfect, where for that home defense, this is going to be sweet. Bump the power down if you don't want too much, full blast if you want it, but then with the laser, it's really fantastic. So I'll have the best of all three worlds. I will have ghost ring iron sights, I'll have that green dot, and the Holosun, the reflex optic, but then also here, I will have the laser. So pretty well set up from that regard. And then this is a little bit of a wild card. I wasn't necessarily intending on using a rifle sling like this, but Helikon-Tex sent me their Mirage carbine sling to take a look at. They sent some gear over here, and this was in the box. Now, this is in the Multicam pattern. They also have Multicam black, which I love. And so if this works out very well, I will probably pick up a second one of these slings and we'll test it out and then finalize this in the Multicam black, and this thing will be ready to go. I mean, I will literally use this everything from target practice at the range. I'm going to be that guy that shows up, and I cannot wait to be that guy that shows up to shoot trap with this, 5-stand, things like that. I think it'll be real fun. I mean, just real fun to bust this out, and especially with the, the Holosun. I'm just looking forward to that. But to get things started, really, I mean, I have to get a chunk of rail on the underside here, and you'll notice that there are M-LOK slots. And so in a perfect world, I would love the Brinyte to be able to mount directly to this particular location so that it's right on the underside. And again, as I grip, I can get right on that pressure pad, and it should be in about the perfect location where I can manipulate the buttons as I need, but more specifically, that pressure pad. And it's too bad that Brinyte doesn't offer that particular light just straight M-LOK, because it would be a real slick, low-key, low-profile mounting solution. But worst case solution here, you can get some real cheap but fairly nice chunks of pick rail. And so you'll see here this little kit. I have various different sizes, pretty much every size I will ever need for different projects. You can pick these up for $12 to $15 right on Amazon. I made sure that I bought these in aluminum, so they are not plastic, and they come with all of the hardware. So I'm going to get a chunk of this pick rail mounted to that section of the M-LOK. And so I always like to torque things up. You know, I'm in a situation right now, taking my time, going easy. This is, a project for me. I want to make sure it comes out right, and I like when things are done very well. So torque, making a big difference. Now, I found that this right around 20 inch-pounds seemed to be about right. And, didn't feel like I was overly stressing. Got a little blue Loctite in there because I know this is going to be under recoil and heavy recoil. I shoot a lot of slugs, especially at my particular club. In certain areas, I do have the ability to shoot slugs and kind of have to in a way to get out to distance. And so, having the blue Loctite, I think is going to go a long way, and especially torquing everything down. And so at this point, I can mount the light, which if you look at the construction, pretty standard, very robust. You can see has these nice jaws, and then the ability with that excellent thumb screw just to tighten it down. And then it also has a slot for a coin. I typically like to use nickels. I find nickels are the best where they're like thick enough and give you enough bite, yet they don't potentially damage these little slots. Other coin types, quarters have ridges, pennies leave copper behind, and they can be sometimes a little slick. Dimes, the diameter is too small. So get yourself a nice nickel and tighten things down. But I don't really think I'm going to need to because of the thumb screw. And with this mounted, you can see it is literally perfect. I can get on that easily. It is right where I need it. That grip is fantastic. So right there, perfect. Get on the laser. That's even no problem. Just lean a little forward. And you'll notice that also acts like a pressure pad. If I lean on it and don't click it quick, that's awesome. So that's even like a pressure pad. And then this side here, that allows me to switch. So both on, one side only, the other side only, or both. Add the laser. Sweet. This is awesome. I like it quite a bit. Now, I can't necessarily tell by the documentation exactly what each individual light output is. I believe it's probably about 800 lumens if I had to guess. They're telling me 1600 lumens maximum output and then 35,000 candela. And I do believe that if we were to split it, I'm saying that's got to be about 800, and then both, again, back to 1600. Well, then in terms of the laser, that is a 5 milliwatt laser. Right around 5 milliwatts is standard for things in this type of class. And now getting that Holosun mounted up, you can see perfect. And I mean, I'll play with the, I guess, distance from my eye. I have found that I tend to like my optics as far forward as I can get them. And I like to, more than anything, be target acquired. I don't want to be sight acquired. With my sight picture, I'm trying to literally stare directly through the optic to my target. And when the optic is further away, I feel like it just has my eye staring more through it, ultimately to the target itself. Now, it depends on the optic, it depends on the reticle, it depends on the size of the optic, but for this, I feel like it should work. And then the other thing that is awesome, the ability to see right through, underneath, and then ultimately getting on my sights. That's going to be awesome, where I can see directly through the optic and then ultimately get onto my iron sights. So this setup, I think, is going to be about optimum from what I can tell. And when it comes to these optics, these are absolutely not set it and forget it. I have some time at the range. I need to get this zeroed in. Same with the laser. And I need to think about my use case and where those are going to be used. For me, absolutely hands down, the green dot starting to take me out further in range. I'm talking 25 plus yards for this particular optic. If not, chances are I'm going with the laser. And the laser is mostly going to be indoors. Now, one thing I can tell you for sure, when you turn on the light and try to sight through the optic, you need to be a little bit careful where the light itself can wash out the optic. That is something worth noting. But the fact that not only do you have the green dot in the optic, but also the laser, that's fantastic. And another thing that I typically like to do, but in this case, green optic, green laser. I usually like to have green laser on the like light system and red if I'm going to have a mounted light with a laser. Really having that contrast allows you to better understand what sighting system you're looking through. So the green dot of the laser and the green dot of the actual sight itself can be convoluted if you're not careful, just paying attention and knowing what you're going to use when and in what scenario. Which now leads me to the sling, and I can tell you I'm probably going to have to cut a little bit of the webbing off of here, and I'm just hesitant to do so in the event that I choose to use this particular sling for another rifle or shotgun. I think if I like this and it seems like it's going to work out, which right now it definitely does, I will go to that Multicam black and then cut that one to length and then make it really the permanent sling for the Ultima Patrol. But you can see here, I do have a little bit of adjustment to go, but at this point, you know, it does fit nicely around the rear of the stock. It does fit nicely around the fore end, and my ability to now get on and mount the weapon. I can actually get my hand on there, and it really does not impede my grip, and I can get on the weapon light no problem. So this is actually going to work out very well. It does have the ability to adjust on the fly, so that's real easy, but that's actually making it longer, and I really need this to be a much shorter solution at this point. You can see where I have this. It's not bad, but I would like it to suck up real nice and super tight and then have the ability to lengthen that out. So the reality is this is not bad, but it's not optimum, and it can be optimum. I just need to cut some of the webbing a little bit shorter. There's more than enough here. So Helikon-Tex sending this Mirage sling with more than enough for different size bodies, different, firearms, scenarios, people's personal preference and liking. But you can see that this is going to work out very well, where it sits just about perfect. And I don't know, maybe I'll keep the multicam and just have a little bit of a contrast. But to me personally, I'd love to have it just fully blacked out. Now across the top here, a little Velcro for, simple morale field. I probably will not do anything with that. I don't want anything to really rub or snag, and I'm not sure why you'd want to do that anyway. Maybe there's another purpose for this, somehow carrying on a, a pack, or certainly something like a plate carrier or whatnot might have different ability to lash things. But for me, I don't see the purpose or the need for that. Decent padding, nice webbing, good buckles, and I think once I get everything properly adjusted and to the right length, this should work out fine. So with that, that was my goal today, get this a little more set up and ready for action. And so yeah, thanks guys, appreciate you following along. That was a little bit of just kind of hanging out with my shotgun today, getting it ready for action. I cannot wait. It's the perfect season for shotgun. Just get out, enjoy some time, hopefully hit some clay pigeons, and just really love having this A300. It's time to put this to good use. So again, thank you guys for following along. Take care now. I'll see you soon.